What is up, Booger Beans? Welcome back to another episode of Adventures with Boog. On this episode of Adventures with Boog, we are installing some lighting in the schoolie. So firstly, guys, I hope all you guys are safe and sound with this crazy sickness that's going on right now. Luckily, in the bus here, no reported case of coronavirus, so let's keep that up. But today we are installing our LED lights in the ceiling. So the plan is to run 10 of these down basically the center of the bus, and we'll have 2 switches in the back area, one for kind of the bathroom, one for the over top of the bed, and then we'll also have another third switch that will run basically the entire living room. We'll have 5 lights up there, we'll have 5 lights in the back half of the bus, and I think it's gonna work great. So these lights we got are 4-inch LED slim panel lights. They're dimmable. They are equivalent to a 60-watt light bulb, but these are actually 120 volt lights, so that doesn't really work. But luckily, when you open this guy up, inside of here you have the panel light like that. Very nice, very slim, so it fits up in the ceiling very nicely. I've already installed one just because I wanted to make sure it worked before I did this video. So we've got that guy. Then in the bottom here there is a converter box. So inside this box here are your 120 volt AC connections here, and coming out of that is actually 24 volts DC. So what we are gonna do is basically throw that guy away, and we're just gonna take the lights and cut off this pigtail and wire it up to the wires that we have in the ceiling of the bus, and then we're just gonna run 24 volt DC through all the wires for the lighting, and it will work perfectly. And in case you're wondering or thinking, oh, that's not gonna work, so I took one of the lights, dissected it already, tested it running 24 volt DC, and it worked perfectly. So I know it's gonna work. Now it's just simply installing them in the roof and getting them actually lighting the bus. So let's get to that. So as you guys can see here, I have taken a 4 1/4 inch hole saw and drilled a hole there, a hole in there, and then I've already got a light installed at the back of the bus. So just a couple things when you're drilling this hole. First off, check and see on the box what size hole they ask for. So if you look on the box, this actually says for a 4 1/8 inch hole saw, or a 4 1/8 inch cutout. I don't have a 4 1/8 inch hole saw. I only had a 4 1/4, so I used the 4 1/4, but I tested it before I did it in the ceiling to make sure that it would work, and it does. So just double check that before you guys commit to it. But so I cut it with a 4 1/4 inch hole saw, and then right where the wires are. Now these wires, I actually marked the location of them in the ceiling before we put up the boards. You can see right there, that's a mark for a light. So I marked all the locations so I knew where the wires were. Just when you guys are drilling for those wires, be very, very careful that you don't end up catching the wire. What happened to me was I caught the wire, and now you can see that little bit of black tape because I actually nicked the wire and caught it. So I think it would be a good idea to kind of put your wires off to the side of the hole, or off to the side of the location where you think you'll have them, and then reach in there and kind of pull them out would be a better choice than actually drilling right on top of them. So let's go to the back of the bus and take a look at the light that I already installed. Okay, so here's the light I already have installed. I haven't electrical taped these together yet. I will do that before we fully tie it up. But all I did was, like I said, I cut off the pigtail and I wired it, or basically moretted it directly into the wires that are in the roof of the bus. And then these little fingers, they just kind of fold up and go right up into the ceiling. And they seem to work pretty good. Up in the ceiling there, I had to kind of jam up the insulation a little bit to allow for that foot to kind of grab over top, and same on that side as well. And yeah, it seemed to work pretty good so far. Alright, so first things first, you're going to want to undo this strap. Note, this does not require a drill to do that. I just simply use the drill because that's what I had in the bus. Then take the screw you took out and put it back in the hole. Be careful again if you're using a drill, because it may strip the threads. There we go. Just like that. Now what you're going to do is take a snippers, cut off the end of this pigtail. I know that sucks. You think that it's you just bought a brand new set of lights and now you're going to wreck it. So cut that guy off, throw that thing away. And now what I do is I take about half of this wire. Actually, zoom you guys in here a little bit more so you can see. Okay. So now what I do is I take about half this wire and strip all of it. So I do have a stripper. Let me grab it. So I have a nice wire stripper that does a pretty good job of stripping wire. This is a really great tool if you're doing any kind of electrical. I think they're about 20-25 bucks, and it makes it so much easier. Just one thing, make sure you adjust it correctly because that will help a lot. So now what I do is I've got the red and black wires. I don't know. Yeah, you can see them there. Oh, let's just put that there. Now you can see them. 2 red and black wires. And I'm going to strip basically all of this wire. I know that seems like a lot of wire to strip, but these wires are very fine. They're only 22 gauge wire. So what I do is I strip all of that, I spin it up nice and tight, and then I fold it in half and spin it again, and it makes for a little bit thicker wire to grab in the moret. So now we'll take that and we'll strip basically all of it, and we'll spin it up nice and tight. So you can actually, as long as you put that red guy out, you can actually just spin the light around, holding the wire, and that will spin it up nice and tight. Like that. There you go. Then you get a nice wire like that. Oh, I don't know if you're gonna focus. So there's the wire like that. Then I take this wire and I fold it over on itself and I spin it up again. And that just gives a little bit more meat to grab into the moret. I don't know if that's really necessary. I just think it's a good thing to do. Maybe an electrical engineer would think that's a stupid idea. I'm not one of those. But, so, there's what the wire looks like. So now I'm going to do that to the other side, same thing. There we go. Now we got 2 bare pigtails, and that's basically ready to go in the ceiling. So let's do one more of those, and then we'll get it up in the ceiling. So what I'm using for these are little orange morets like this, and I'm using the white wire as a black wire or as a ground wire. I take the 2 wires, I spin them together nicely, just so that they're a little bit together before you put them in the moret, and then crank them down into the moret nice and tight. And these hold very nice. And do the same thing on the yellow wire. Do a couple wraps, and then I grab the orange guy and I crank them onto there, like that. There. Now that light is basically installed, ready to go. And then we'll be able to pop them up in the ceiling. I'm going to put all these lights up first and then do a test of them before I get them all fully installed and whatever else. So, but that's where we're at now. I'm gonna install that next one, and then we'll be ready for a lighting test. Let's do that. Okay, so here's our little test rig. So I have 2 batteries hooked up in series, and then I've got the wires for the light go up there and into the lights over there. Note, this is just a test rig. To use this wire this small like this would definitely not work if it was permanent. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 wires there and I'm going to touch them to the positive and negative posts, and we'll see if the lights turn on. Okay, so now I'm just going to touch the positive to positive and negative to negative, and hopefully they light up. So, hey, there we go. Now we got some lights, just like that. So those guys are good to go, but this guy doesn't look like he's working. I don't think this guy's working. He's not working. So that means I messed something up somewhere. I'm gonna have to go back and watch my electrical video and remind myself how I did the wiring up there. So just give me a couple minutes and we'll fix that right away. Okay, one of the best parts about having a YouTube channel when you're building a schoolie is if you forget something, you can go back and check how you did it. So actually, that light isn't working because it's on a different circuit. So I'm actually gonna have to fish wires from there down over to meet with this wire. So it's actually working perfectly fine. I just forgot how I put the lights in the roof. But I had a video to explain how I did the electrical, so that worked out really well. So those guys work great. So now I am actually going to go and just put them up in the ceiling and wrap it up, and then I'm gonna cut the rest of the holes and install the rest of the lights and wiring and go from there. So yeah, stay tuned. I was just talking to myself the whole time. See, that's the thing with this like new camera. I have like a screen on the side, and I always gotta remember I gotta look at you guys and not at the screen, because then I look like really silly. So sorry about that. Okay guys, so I got 3 more lights up, and I had to fish some wire underneath the boards over to the bulkhead that's on the side of the bus, and that sucked. So if you are going to be putting lights in your ceiling, I suggest you put in your electrical wiring first. Definitely easier. So, but we did get it up. And it's in there. So yeah, now I'm just gonna finish wiring it and put up some more. So that's where we're at. Check it out, Bugga Beans. We got the lights, 5 lights in anyways. So we got all the lights for the back half of the bus installed, and they are actually like really quite bright. I'm very happy with that, and by the time we put the LED lights on the side to kind of fill in those corners and stuff, it is going to be absolutely beautiful in here. So I still got 5 more lights to install in the front of the bus, and again, this is just a temporary setup till we get the mechanical room in here, because we got to put in a fuse box, we got to put in switches, we got to put in all that kind of stuff. But I just have it hooked up to the batteries real quick just to show you guys what it looks like. And I might actually put a bigger jumper wire on there so that I can use the batteries in the meantime to, what's it called, to light the bus in here when we're filming, because this is a lot better light than using those like big bright spotlights. But hey, it looks pretty awesome, I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below what you think about that. And I think we'll start cranking on the next 5 in the front, so let's get to it. Look so weird sometimes.
Mine's it's scary. Ugh,
is that weird?
This lighting is awful.
Good morning, Booger Beans. So we got actually all the lights installed, and they're all working, but these ones are still hanging from the ceiling. So they're actually hooked up and working, but they aren't. I guess what is mounted?
Yeah, sure.
Mounted. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna cut the edges that we gotta cut to get those guys up there nice and flush and mounted. And then we are gonna do a really, really good clean of the bus and get ready for flooring. I don't know when we're gonna end up getting flooring because of all this stuff that's going on.
Times are uncertain.
But when we do, the bus will be ready for it. So let's get to it. Okay, Booger Beans, we got all the lights hooked up and they're working.
All of them.
All of them, actually all of them. Not like some of them, they're mostly done.
Like last night when I got here and I was like, oh, the lights are done.
Yeah.
But no, they're not.
So they're all installed all the way at the back and all the way up the front.
That didn't show that.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
There's the front. Look at the front. Can they see the front?
Yeah.
And there's the back. I don't know if you can see the back either. And so right now there's like a battery over there and like a ton of wires flowing to it.
And that's how we're gonna leave it.
Yeah, basically the bus is ready to live in. It's got lights, it's got a heater. Good to go.
Set up.
But no, once we get the walls hooked up and stuff, then obviously we will we'll have switches and whatever else. But right now we don't have switches. And we're just gonna do, I guess, a quick clean of the bus, and that's really all we can.
It's not gonna be quick.
It's not gonna be quick, I guess. It's gonna probably take a couple minutes.
Like an hour.
But that's really all we can do until we get the next supplies, which
we can't
could
because
be a
every
while.
store is closed.
Yeah, so
Amazon got flooring?
let's do that. Yeah, but I think it would cost a lot to ship it here.
Prime?
They got like sticky flooring. Do you want sticky flooring?
I offered that. You don't.
Alright, let's do some cleaning.
Ow! I literally hate the way I look in here. It's horrible. Well, that I don't know that helps. It's like just the lighting is weird. I look like
it looks different, but it looks different on here than it does on my computer.
Look at my eye. It looks like I'm high and have been crying for days.
Are you high and crying for days?
No.
I'm gonna put this in as bloopers.
I hate it.
Okay, Booger Beans. So that wraps up this episode. We got all the lighting. Well, all the recessed lighting in. We still have more lights that are going in the bus. Right?
Yeah, we got all the lights in the ceiling.
Yeah. And I think we're going to come out tonight and turn them all on and take a couple pictures and put them up.
Spoopy.
I hate that word so much. If you guys go down in the comments below and leave 10 of those, I will quit doing YouTube.
It's happening.
Yeah, I think the next step we're going to be doing are either some more bulkheads maybe or the flooring. It just depends with the world right now. The world's freaking crazy.
Yeah,
so,
I can't really go anywhere or do anything. Like, you can't buy anything right now. So.
Yeah. So, that's it, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great night. And stay safe. Don't get COVID.
Hook sets are free.
Hook sets are free. Bringing it back. Bye, guys.